What is going on, goats? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Wednesday, January 10th. We're at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So, guys, man, this really starts pretty much jumps us off for Digital Goats Academy. I'm super excited. So we're really going to go into our first segment of the week, pretty much requested from the team. So we're going to talk about market entries today. That's what our main focus is going to be. I know people have been asking questions like, where is really am I supposed to be entering at the market? So that's a little bit of what we're going to be going over today, guys, real quick. So let me share my screen and let's just get into it. Okay. So what we have is EURNZD right now. This is what I chose to use to kind of really illustrate how you should be looking for entry. And the reason being is because we've already had a play. The market was favorable to us within EURNZD. It is a trade setup that we already took, I think, last week. So I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna clear it, but I just want everybody to see basically what it looks like right now, and then maybe how I came up to, find my entry. And then we'll use that with other pairs, as we're on for this block time, guys. So EURNZD, just to explain what happened. And then, again, I'm gonna clear the board and we're going to make sense of things from there. Now, I'm not necessarily looking on an entry, guys. It's just more so of education on how I came up to looking for this entry, right? So here we have is EURNZD, right? Euro New Zealand dollar, and it was selling, right? Last week, I was looking for sells within the market. Obviously, what was last week? The open of last week was pretty much the open of the market for the new year, guys. So you didn't really have a lot of clarity in the market as far as like decision making. But again, you wait for entries, you do basic market structure, and you'll find your positions that you need within the market. Now, the first thing you got to look at is the overall trend, guys. I got to do my top down before I'm even looking to enter in the market, because I got to have an understanding of what the overall transition, what overall trend may be within the marketplace, right? I normally start off on a weekly time frame to kind of assess what it may be doing, just to kind of get the overall bias, like this overall move. So I can, honestly sit here and say over a weekly time frame, EURNZD is selling, guys, and we can go into other things that are showing us why it was selling. But we're just going to focus on, that the trend right now is showing us that it was selling, right? So if we're looking for a position, we should mainly just trade with the trend, i.e., staying with the sellers, right? So break it down to a daily time frame. Do you see the same thing? You do see selling opportunity within the market. Now, all this information I had drew up last week, but it played out exactly how I wanted. Maybe not to a T. I think the market had actually jumped up a little bit higher than I expected. But again, 9 times out of 10, your bias isn't wrong. Your entry is just off. So we're going to cover that right now, guys. Right. So EURNZD again, right? I was looking for a sell position from somewhere up here. Now, the information that I got that led me to that was market patterns, but I'm going to focus on that after I go into what you need to be doing, first of all, to kind of understand, okay, if I'm going to look to enter, where is price at currently? Well, you got to start drawing your structures, guys, right? We got to start drawing our levels of support and our levels of resistance. Reason being is that when we start identifying those areas, we can start going on a smaller time frame, identifying those areas on a smaller time frame, and then creating an entry based off of those structures within the market. Because 9 times out of 10, guys, you need to be entering at some form of level of resistance if you're selling, or some form of level of support if you're buying, right? So based off this 4 hour, I can drag out, this is my support structure right here. This is my resistance. So even right here, I just trapped the market. So I know within this space, I am looking for entries, right? Let me make this red so everybody understands this is resistance, right? This is resistance. And this is resistance, and this is an area that I'm looking for potentially the market to come and then, be favorable to me. Now, obviously, this play already happened, but again, we're moving back in time to figure out where our entries may be. Now, I have resistance at the top, sell positions. As you see, as the market came up, even if you drew this before, all this transpired, the market came up, started selling here. You have enough identification to understand that, okay, the market is selling in this position. The market bought up in this position. Did the market buy up from this support structure? Absolutely, it did. So just within this block space, guys, we understand that the market, we understand that we have sell positions right here, buy positions right here until the market decides to break up without out of those two zones, right? Break it down to an hour time frame, right? Same thing. Where's your support and resistance at? I can literally, now we have this information now, but this information wasn't here. And let's actually play off of that, as that information wasn't there. So okay, we know that this was the move. I just wanted you guys to see that. But what do I do if I don't know this is the move? So let me go ahead and erase all this stuff, right? Let's act like we don't know anything, as we don't have any data to the current market yet, besides the information that we did over here, which was a double top. At the basic form of trading, we identified a pattern that we like, a double top, right? That is a selling position. Same thing for a double bottom, buying position, guys, right? So look at this right here, selling candle on the hour time frame. We already identified on the higher time frame that the market is selling, right? That the market is trending downward. So if, again, we're staying with the trend, that's what we have to look for. Now, I'm not saying you can't find buy entries within, your selling positions, but again, it's more favorable for you to stay with the trend instead of trying to counter trend, losing money, and then it's like it comes to the position that you really should have been waiting for anyway, just for you to be like, man, dude, I should have just been a little bit more patient, right? So we're going to try to keep this as basic as possible. I'm not even going to try to add, well, no, I'm going to have to, because I just use fib, right? I was going to try to not use Fibonacci, but I'm going to have to, just to really get the accuracy of the position that we were looking for, right? So we don't know nothing. This is us approaching the market right now. We haven't seen anything. We haven't seen any data. We haven't seen any news that is pretty much given any indication what the market may be doing besides price action. The market is selling. Now, when you see a big candle like this, guys, you don't want to initially say, oh, man, obviously the market is selling, but we know pullbacks have to happen, right? This is a very aggressive move for the market not to return like a certain percentage of it, right? So if we just turn it to a line chart and then break it down just a little bit more, what you're trying to do is, because you already have the position, right? You already have the position as far as like it's selling, right? We have a sell move right here. So now we have to wait for a retest. This is where we try to find our entries, right? Because we understand that, okay, based off of, even if I didn't have this information up here, let's say I didn't have this sell zone right here, and I didn't even know that there was a double top right here. I'm just looking currently at price action. Well, if I draw another resistance, I can at least say, based off of this 45-minute time frame, this is resistance. The market broke down, the market retested. So yes, we are in a sell as far as probably to like this support structure right here, right? So what do I do now that I identified that the market is selling? Well, I have to wait for a pullback, guys. Now, this is where people burn themselves, because they see a move like this happen. They'll see it on the candlestick and be like, oh, man, this thing is taking off. Everybody does it. I'm even prone to doing something like this, right? It's taking off and you don't want to miss the move. So what do? You ignore that. Man, I am literally at support. Right here is support. Let me just push it out for you guys real quick. Where's my circle? Like right there, you know what I'm saying? Like 1, 2, 3. This is all support. You're impatient, so you're seeing this move and you're ignoring what the market is actually heading to. Absolutely not, right? Because if we know any better that it is heading towards some support, not saying that this is a buy zone to take the market, past this, but we know that we may get a bounce all the way back up to this position, or all the way back up 50% of an initial move. So rule of thumb, if the market, if you're looking for an entry, the market has to return at least 38 to 50% of that move. So buying or selling. So even if I didn't use Fibonacci, which I know some people don't know what Fibonacci is, and we'll go into that later, but even if I didn't use Fibonacci, I can at least, from a bird's eye view or eyeballing it, I wouldn't recommend doing that, but at least eyeballing it, I can say, well, this is about half of this candle, right? This is about half of this candle. So he said 38 to 50%. Maybe I don't know where 38% is at, but I can at least say of this entire move, this is about halfway, right? This is about halfway. Let's put a line there. Just like, and this is stuff that I used to do before I honed in and got a little bit more accurate, guys. So at the very least, we know that the market has to return, 50% within this market, with us actually heading to a support structure. So right here, we have a support structure. Now I'm gonna push it forward just to see what it does. And if it, comes down to the support structure, so we can have a little bit more data, because this already happened in real time, right? Where we at? Okay. You see how it shot down? I'm glad it did that. Did y'all see that? And I know I'm not really looking for a response, but I'm just, interacting with you guys. So y'all see how it did that? It shot down. It shot down and then jumped up. I don't even think we had this here. Matter of fact, we didn't have this there. Look at that, man. That's crazy. I don't know why they don't have like a rewind button. They just have the replay. So did y'all see that? Look, we didn't even use Fibonacci. We eyeballed it. I said at least 50% of this entire move is somewhere in this ballpark. And no, I'm not memorizing price. I literally just put this here thinking like that's a halfway point, right? Look in real time what happened. I don't know if you guys were able to catch that. I may have to go down to a smaller time frame so it kind of shows it a little bit better. And then I want you guys to see it. Look, we don't have any move. We don't have any price action up here yet, guys. But look what happens when I push play to move forward. One, price shot up all like close up here. So let's go to the 45, right? You see it showed it different now that I went to the 45-minute. Price came all the way up here, at the very least 50%. 50% where you could have caught a potential sell. Now, that's not saying that this is the entry for the market. This could be fake outs, but still, that was 33 pips, 38 pips that the market came down. That's still good money within the market, guys. So at the very least, you know what I'm saying? That would have been a position. So say you were looking at, initially that would have been your entry right there. So say you were looking for that and say, I don't want to give too much back in the market, but I want to go back to that support structure, right? Being that we know we have a previous low here, right? The market should, in theory, come up to this previous low. This is resistance within this market. Well, support that now will be resistance when the market comes back up here, right? But we've put at least 50% of this entire move, 50%. So just keep that in mind. Don't even try to look for the 38% until you get a little bit more precise with your entry, guys. 50%, because that'll put you at a better stake than trying to do the early entry. Always expect the 50% pullback. And all we did was just did a eyeball, guys. Educated, I wouldn't say educated guess, but based off of information we already know, where the market could return to. And that still would have been an okay entry, because again, within the because we're coming off the holidays, we know that we're not going to get a bunch of moves, a bunch of aggressive moves that's just going to show us a straight 100 pip candle. So you get in where you fit in, right? So say I would have did that and I said, I want to say that because I know price could come up here, I'm going to allow myself to lose 25, maybe even just 20 pips or whatnot, because because EURNZD is pretty volatile, right? And all I want to do is head back to that low, or at least the top of that low right here, guys. You would have got that. You exactly would have gotten that. That's a perfect example of finding your initial entry within the market, guys. Now, I want to see it play, because what people do is that they see this and they don't exit until we break this support structure. we cannot say that the market is going to break down. Now, when we see the break, okay, that's clarity. I'm not saying for some people, depending on what type of trader you are, trying to pretty much, be up here and then have the market break down and stuff like that, depending on what style of trading or what style of trader you are. But if you're looking for the aggressive move to start breaking support structures or resistance structures, guys, you probably want to aim higher where the market will actually gain a little bit more momentum than trying to rely on the 50%. But you see in real time, guys, I mean, well, not real time, but you see, if we would have pretty much, waited for that entry, we would have had about 50 pips. That's still good money. If you know what you're doing, that's still good money within the market. Now, let's see if we would have held on to the trade trying to be greedy, what it would have done to us. And if we would have been more patient and looked for a better entry where the market would have been favorable to us for. So I'm going to play it all the way out. Oh, man. No. Wow. I didn't even know it did that. That is actually pretty awesome. I must have not went back far enough, guys. I thought there was going to be another entry. But let's see it play out all the way. But yeah, I guess that would have been your entry to take it all the way down. Okay, this is where it started returning back up and then coming back. So at that support structure, so you see how it bounced off that support structure, guys? You literally would have wanted to exit out of there. You know what I'm saying? Really, this support structure over here, right here. Are y'all seeing that? This support structure right here. Let me make that gold. Wow. Let me see. Wow, yo, I was not expecting this entry. I thought we were a little bit higher. I think we are a little bit higher. Let me see. Wow, I'm actually impressed. Like, if that was a real trade, oh my gosh, like, wow, yo, wow, that's actually pretty amazing, yo. That's crazy. That is really crazy, honestly. I wasn't trying, I was literally just going with the flow with you guys. I literally thought that we had a higher entry. And I didn't know that I mean, I know we just saw it and that's where we just came from, but I literally just eyeballed it again. I wasn't even thinking that, man, the entry I just deleted was about the same entry. This is about 50%. I eyeballed it, guys. I did not remember the price. But if you look just based off of that concept, you would have had 200 pips potentially. Again, most people probably would have got out here and then looked for a reentry, but you would have had 200 pips. Too easy, right? For as far as like an entry, too easy, right? We identified one. We identified the overall trend. We identified structure within the market, and we applied the rule of 50%. Let's just keep it 50% until we get a little bit more accurate. So we applied the law of the market that it can't just go in a straight line up or down. It has to give a percentage back, which was 50% of that initial move at that time. One, your risk to reward was low, guys. So what is it? Where's my risk? A 1-to-9. A 1-to-9 ratio. That is crazy. That is crazy. And that would have been a good call. Wow, man. Like I mean, I know we already like took this trade, but just even coming back and being able to use information, that's just kind of crazy to me, guys. But that's an example of you finding your entry based off of using, structure within the market. And these are the best ways. So if you identify these support structures, resistant structures, zones within the market, those are your primary areas that you should be looking for the market to initially return back to. You see what I'm saying? So even right here, so let's even go on the flip side, right? Let's even do it opposite now that we identified this, right? So we have our sell, we have our selling opportunity, which it does look like the market is about to sell. But even when we were done with our sell, so say we closed out here and it's like, okay, I'm looking for an area for the market to jack up, but if it comes all the way back up to my initial entry, then I can, I can take the trade again, right? That's what we're led to believe. So say we're right here, and now we're trying to see, okay, I don't know what the market may be doing, but based off of what it's going to show me, I'm going to respond in that sequence, right? Same thing, right? Hold on. So we got out our trade, you know what I'm saying? We're not looking at the market, but we did create a support structure. Well, a previous high broken out of, right? An area where we think that the market may return to based off of these previous highs, right? So this is a previous high. We know that the market did in fact break up out of here. And if it's going to return to sell, because look at this, now that you have this line, well, we already had that information. But look at this initial move right here, right? So we're at a level. This is actually from here, from what is that? The 9th of December. The 9th of December all the way to January 6th. We are bullish. We are bullish. So we have no reason to believe that we're bearish until we start breaking zones. I'll tell you what, price did break these support structures right here, which will lead me to believe that one, I identified a double top. Also identified another pattern, but let's just keep it very simple right now. So if I have this information and I already took a sell and I believe that the market is still selling, but I want to, in this scenario, you probably could counter trend, but it's up to your discretion. But say I just want to play the fence and it's like, I'm cool to wait for a pullback. Where should I be looking to re-enter, right? Because I identified that we are now selling, but we know that we're not going to be selling like back from these zones because we have all this imbalance within the market. Where should I be looking to sell? Think about it. Don't make this harder than what it is. If you haven't seen a big retest on the initial entry that you've taken, or a retest on the initial entry that you've taken, you probably should expect the market to come back to your entry. And I can even show you guys with US30 after I play this live. So let me play this live and then show like, okay, where should I be looking to enter? Well, if I don't have no return back to my initial entry, because that's a break, this was the break. Now I need a retest. No matter how aggressive it is, this is why you got to filter through, the higher time frames, guys, just to kind of see what the market is doing. Oh, snap. What's going on? Let's go, D.G.A. Live. Let's go. I'm killing D.G.A. But anyway, guys, so look, our same entry, the market return back up to, right? So what should we be thinking that EURNZD is doing? Somebody tell me, man. Y'all can. How you almost burn your kitchen down, bro? I'm gonna allow y'all to talk because I'm gonna allow y'all to talk. Hold on, let me. But make sure y'all keep it PG, yo. We're on YouTube. If y'all are gonna jump on and say stuff. But grease fire, oh my gosh, dude. But anyway, where should we be looking? I mean, what are we thinking that EURNZD is doing based off of what we just went over? Tell me. Somebody type it in the chat or come off and mute and say it.
Retest, right?
As far as like what direction, what bias do we think that the market is trying to do? Buy or sell?
Sell, because it hit the double top.
Well, no. Focus on where we're currently at. Based off of what? Ignore all this to the back. We don't even care about that no more. All we care about is everything in the front.
You were saying about the retest to where it came from, right?
Right. So what direction do we think that the market is going based off of what we just said? Down. I agree. Came right back to our zone. We have enough data to say that, retested. We actually have a candle pattern that's forming. You know what I'm saying? So literally, even if you missed your entry, now you have your entry. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying? And it all derived from you, one, finding the trend, overall trend, finding your structure, figuring out what the market had did initially, not reacting to what it's doing, seeing what it's doing and saying, okay, if the sell is valid, it has to pull back up because it hasn't retested these areas that are higher up based off of like a line chart. So you guys can, break it down to a line chart and just see, has it returned to a previous low? Is this a previous low? Now we have a low up here, but again, go with the higher time frame because I mean that's what the market is telling you. Even though you have it in, that's not saying that the market couldn't spike up here later and then start selling down. But based off of what we're seeing, we have our break, we have our retest. I don't know if it's going to create resistance up here, but we have an initial move based off of what the market law is. Once it breaks a level of support, it becomes resistance, and now it's carrying on. So very easy on like really, finding your entry and stuff. So I know Santana, I know that was one of your questions. Like, did this kind of help? You understand like, okay, where I should be entering. Now, obviously, you just going over one, I understand that it's not just gonna be like aha, but are you understanding like the simplicity behind it? Like we did this over, not using the same. That's why I started from scratch to prove that, okay, even if you didn't know initially and not using, prior information and stuff based off of what price action was showing you, what you need to do within the market to be able to find your entry. Did that help a little? Let's look at US 32. So
yeah, it did help.
Who is drawing on here? Are y'all drawing on my joint?
My bad, dog. I was just pressing button.
So right here, once it broke this, I was just making sure it wasn't like a hacker. Once it broke that, this is basically your selling point right here. Could pull back up or, depending on 8 pips, from that entry. You see what I'm saying? I'm not taking this because I'm already locked into trades or whatnot. I mean, I could take it, but if anything, what I would probably do is I would probably, again, same thing, same concept, break. Now, you don't always get that retest you're looking for, but break probably come somewhere up here. That was the retest of this. So you got your break. Let's turn it to a line chart, see where previous low is at. So yeah, with this support structure, we could have a push right up here unless the market is just going to aggressively start selling. But yeah, that's where I would look to enter. Same concept. And the reason why I'm even more confident at like a lower position, so to speak, is because of the pattern that's being presented in front of me. The pattern right here is evening star pattern right here. Y'all see that? Evening star pattern. Retest already. So now we have our move. This is our move. You'll probably have a slight pullback and then, there she goes. You know what I mean? But yeah, so this is EURNZD, guys. Anybody that's viewing this, obviously by the time you guys see it on YouTube, the move will have already been gone. But I hope this, helps somebody out there, guys. But anybody that's viewing my channel, if you find value within my channel and you're just forgetting, please like, subscribe, comment. I do appreciate feedback, whether it's like, man, this actually totally sucked, or, any questions that you guys have to stuff that you're struggling within trading, within foreign exchange, and understand this information is universal. So I know I have some stock traders out there that do stock options or just investors. This stuff is universal. So it doesn't matter what you do, the information is still, useful in a different department, guys. So appreciate you guys. It's the Digital GOAT, Antoine Boatwright. I will see you guys on the next call, and we're going to take it up from there.